Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be another movie review for you guys. Now, this movie I'm going to be reviewing again is a 2014 film. I know you guys are saying, why are you reviewing so many 2014 films? Well, in case you guys don't know, the Golden Globes are tonight, and the Oscars are in February. So I'm trying to watch all the films that are getting considered for Golden Globes, and this was actually the last one I had to watch. There are two others that I might watch if they get Oscar consideration, but I don't think they're nominated. For any Golden Globes. So, other than that, I think I've seen all the ones I need to see, and this was the last one I need to see. And that movie is a movie that I was definitely very much looking forward to, Selma. I have finally seen Selma, and I know it was finally released in theaters. I saw it on Solar Movie, though, because if you guys don't know, on Solar Movie, they release, every single movie up for award consideration online. So Selma was included there, and I was planning on seeing it in theaters. I was planning on actually buying a ticket and seeing it in theaters and everything, but I didn't. And I'm very happy I got the chance to see it because I was very much looking forward to this movie. The trailers looked amazing. The idea of it looked great. And overall, what did I think of Selma? Selma is by far one of the best movies of 2014. I love Selma. I think it is a fantastic story. I think it is a fantastic movie with a very impactful message. And honestly, I think it's going to be talked about for a long time, definitely. There is actually another movie called Selma, but I believe it's based on a little girl or something. It doesn't focus on Martin Luther King. This one focuses on Martin Luther King. Basically, here's the plot of Selma. It's pretty simple, actually. Basically, the plot of Selma is in the 1960s. I'm sure a lot of you know this. I mean, if you guys went to school, you guys know this. In 1965, Selma, Alabama, could not vote. Black people in Selma, Alabama, they could not vote, because the president, Lyndon B. Johnson, would not let them vote and everything. And Martin Luther King really wanted to put a stop to this. He was tired of them not getting their rights. He wanted people to get equal rights, but he didn't want to protest as violent. He didn't want to start hurting people. He wanted to peacefully protest their voting rights, and he did whatever he could to make sure that happened. And even though certain people didn't think it was a good idea, some people thought that this wasn't safe or whatever, he did whatever he could to keep these protests from happening. And he's very interested in getting these people their rights. And he's tired of them living this, and he's tired and wants to do whatever he can. And basically that's the plot of Selma, and it's a pretty simple plot and everything, and I definitely really enjoy that about Selma. Now, one of the things I was definitely looking forward to in Selma is that Martin Luther King is by far one of my favorite historical figures of all time. In fact, the time period, the whole story of Martin Luther King is one of my favorite historical stories because it's such a hard story to think about. It's hard to think that, yeah, this happened one day. It's hard to think about that. But it did. And that's what I love about this movie is that you remember that, yeah, this did happen one day. And people were affected by this. And it really had a huge impact on them. And there are a lot of things I really love about the movie. The movie is definitely very emotional points. And the movie handles emotion very well. It handles a lot of things very well. But let's talk about Selma. Let's get into the acting for Selma, which, guys, this acting is some of the best acting of the entire year. David Oyelowo. We need to give him applause right now. He was perfect as Martin Luther King. He was so perfect that it literally seemed like he was Martin Luther King. The thing with David Oyelowo, though, is that I looked him up. He looks nothing like Martin Luther King. Nothing. So he completely transformed to him. He completely turned to him. He's not even American. He put on an American accent, and he did a very good job. Sorry, guys, I'm closing this drawer. He did a very good job with that. And I just thought he handled everything perfectly as Martin Luther King. One of the things I love is that they really portrayed him as a man who, they portray him as a man who is very powerful, who wanted things to get done, but they also portrayed him as he has some weaknesses. I definitely like seeing that. They definitely showed some of his weaknesses. They didn't show that he was like God or something, like everyone thought he was. He did have certain weaknesses. For example, I didn't know he went to jail. I didn't know that in the middle of one of his protests, he went to jail and was there for several days, and I didn't know that happened to him, and honestly, that was great. And the thing that I think David Oyelowo handled the best, though, is Martin Luther King's speech. Every time he is giving a speech, you're completely into it, you're completely with him, you're just loving it, and anytime he gave that speech, I'm like, yes, this is awesome, I love this, and definitely all the award consideration he is getting, all of the, best actor nominations he's probably going to get. You're going to hear about him come Oscar season, definitely. I believe he was nominated for a Golden Globe as well, and he definitely does deserve it if he gets it. I think he was amazing, and just, wow, such an amazing transformation. Just the fact that he doesn't even look like that is amazing. Now, Tom Wilkinson plays Lyndon B. Johnson. What I liked about his character is that the other thing I didn't know this movie did is that it kind of perceives what other people thought of Martin Luther King, how people thought of him, what they thought of what he was doing, if they thought it was good what he was doing, if that was bad what he was doing. And I thought Tom Wilkinson was a very good character. You really did not like the white people in this movie, especially Tom Wilkinson and Tim Roth. Tim Roth especially is completely against it. And I really liked their characters a lot. They were very good characters, in my opinion. I thought that they handled their characters very, very well. One of the things, as I said, I really love about the characters is that there's this great scene where they're talking about Martin Luther King, talking about what they think of him and things like that. And you don't really, you kind of see their point, but at the same time, it's like you obviously want the black people to get their rights, so you want that to happen to them, and you know that's going to happen. Okay, there's not really any spoilers for Selma. You know what's going to happen, but I thought that was really good. I thought they portrayed their roles very good. Common was also very good in the movie as James Bevel. Not too much to say about him. I really want to talk about Carmen Ejoga as Coretta Scott King, Martin Luther King's wife. Amazing. I thought she was great. I really love that she was very nervous for him. The whole movie, she's very nervous about this happening. She doesn't know if this is going to work. She doesn't know if he's going to be okay. She doesn't know what's going to happen to him, and I think she portrayed that very, very well. She really played a great role of the wife, and I know a lot of people said the wife's not in this movie a lot. I thought she was in the movie as long as she needed to be. I thought she was fine in here. And I thought she did a very, very good job. She really portrayed her role perfectly. There's this great scene where Martin Luther King wrote her a letter. You can see the look on her face like, oh my God, how is this going to go? Anytime he wants to do some sort of protest or something, she has no idea what's going to happen. And I think she portrayed all that fear just perfectly. She did an amazing job in the movie. Loved her character. She was awesome. And that's really all I'm going to talk about the acting. Oprah Winfrey was also really good in the movie. Cuba Gooding Jr. was good. There were a lot of other people that were really good. But now let's get to... There are actually a lot of people in this movie. Tessa Thompson was good. I've seen her in Dear White People. She was really good in this as well. But let's get to the directing in this movie. Ava DuVernay. This is probably one of the most ambitious movies of 2014 because the director of this movie is not only a woman, she is a black woman. And that's not something you hear about a lot. You don't really hear about a woman director. And just the fact that she's a black woman. She's never directed another movie before. Never. She's never directed another movie before. And she directed this. And actually, has she directed another movie before? I don't know. Yeah, she has directed another movie before. This is like her biggest project, though. She just did an amazing, amazing job this movie. She captured everything perfectly. Everything was perfectly done. You wanted to root for these people to get their rights. You wanted to root for them. She portrayed everything perfectly. It definitely felt like the 1960s. She really did it perfectly, and I thought she just did a really, really good job. She definitely knew their research as well. Definitely, she knew, I've heard stuff about Martin Luther King, and it happens in this movie. She knew what she was doing. She researched Martin Luther King perfectly. I know some people are claiming this movie is historically inaccurate. To me, it seems fine. I don't have a problem that it's historically accurate because it seems accurate to me, and I think she definitely did a very good job with the directing. The writing in this movie, the screenplay is very, very good. It's not the best screenplay of the year, but it's a very good screenplay. I definitely really enjoyed it. My only complaint comes into the screenplay is that in the first 20 minutes of the movie, I wasn't totally into it. It took me, I'd say, about 30 minutes in for me to really get into this movie. It was a little bit, there was a time when Martin Luther King gave this speech, you see in the trailer, the one where he's like, it is not fair, the one where he's like, it is not fair for them to do this to us. Like that speech that he gives in the trailer. After he gave that speech, then I was totally into the movie. But before that, I was like, this is kind of slow for me. But I really liked it after that. I thought it was really good. The score in this movie is actually one of the most important things you have to talk about, is the score. Because the songs they choose, I'm not just talking about the score, I'm talking about the soundtrack. The soundtrack they chose was perfect. The soundtrack they chose was all 60s music, which I was kind of worried about, because in the trailer they used like that rap song. I was kind of worried that was going to be in the movie. But I thought that the songs they chose were perfect. They really further influence the message of the movie, which really is about you can do anything as long as you know, stand up for your, you know, if you have a dream, you can change everything. I mean, think of Martin Luther King's I Have a Dream speech, which is not in this movie because this is all about the voting rights. But I definitely think that it's very important for the score, and the score was very good. Cinematography was amazing in this movie. Cinematography was so, so good. I love the cinematography in this movie. It definitely looked really, really good, and I definitely really enjoyed it. Editing, as I said, the first 20 minutes or something was really slow. But the other thing I want to say about this is a movie that should definitely be shown in schools. A lot of people have talked about this, and when this movie comes on to Blu-ray, it definitely should be shown in schools, because this is a movie that, if kids don't know about Martin Luther King and they watch this movie, they will know really all they need to know about Martin Luther King, and I think that's perfect that they did that. I don't think there's been another movie that's really been about Martin Luther King. It's about time we do a movie about him. I mean, seriously, it's about time we do, and I'm very happy that they finally decided to do a movie on Martin Luther King, because he really is a very interesting historical figure. I mean, just the power he had, as I said, was very, very powerful, and the end of the movie, you just get this sense of power. It's honestly, anytime he gives a speech, it's mesmerizing. It's mesmerizing. It's amazing to watch. I mean, really, you get, like, anytime he gave a speech, I was like totally into it. He was just amazing in it, and the power he had with things like that was amazing. The fact that he never gave up was also amazing, and the fact that he could do these peaceful protests, and I could never think of someone doing that. I don't think anyone's ever done something like that, minus Gandhi. Gandhi and Martin Luther King, the only people who ever did that. And I love the scene where he talks about Malcolm X. I love the scene, you know, there's a great scene where he's talking about how Malcolm X was very different from Martin Luther King. That's actually, Malcolm X I'm probably watching for classic movies this year, but Malcolm X was much more violent than Martin Luther King and things like that. So I like that they portrayed that in the movie as well. I like that they compare Martin Luther King to other historical figures. Definitely, I really enjoyed that. The song at the end, Glory, is a great song. I really hope that it definitely deserves to be nominated for Best Original Song, and it definitely is a very powerful song that I really enjoyed. But overall, guys, I really love Selma. I really hope you guys check out this movie. Now, I will say that if you guys are, like, historians, some people are saying that the movie is historically inaccurate. I have no idea if it is, honestly. I don't care if it is, though, because I really enjoyed this movie overall. Definitely really enjoyed it. And that also, the other thing I liked the movie portrayed was Martin Luther King's family life. There's actually a scene where we see some flashbacks of Martin Luther King as a child. I didn't know they were going to do that, and I definitely really enjoyed that, because we saw the impact that he had on some people, and how he's been affected by this, which I also really enjoyed. Selma's not only a biopic of you know, Selma, Alabama. It's a biopic of Martin Luther King's life, which I definitely really enjoyed. But that's basically for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, my only thing with this movie is that you guys may be thinking, why is this movie not higher on your list and things like that? Why are you not praising it as much? Just because, guys, if I were to compare to, I do think The Imitation Game is a stronger biopic, but I still love this biopic. It's one of the best biopics of 2014, one of the best movies of 2014, one of the most impactful movies of 2014. I'm very happy I saw it. And that's basically for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, please see this movie. This movie gets all the awards that, if this movie gets all the awards Oscar night, I'd be fine with that, because it definitely does deserve it. If this movie doesn't get any awards, then okay, but if the movie does get some award love, I definitely want David Oyelowo to be nominated. I definitely want this movie to be nominated for Best Picture. It definitely deserves all that stuff. It deserves all the praise that it's been getting. It deserves to be seen by tons of people, and this is a movie that anyone should see. It's a movie that has a fantastic message. It's a movie that really reminds you how far we've come as a society, and it's just perfect, and I love that about Selma. But that's basically this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for my predictions for the Golden Globes and nominations. I'll be talking about the nominations, who I think is going to win, and things like that. So I will see you guys for that. Okay, bye.